Because it's been a long day, but Vega Squadron are one game away from Sunday's semifinals. Standing in their way are Fnatic, and bringing back in my two SEA experts, guys, wanted to finish off 2 points in that first game. First of all, you mentioned this, Winter, the Pangolier pick. Pango is now 7-19 in this current patch. He has the second lowest win rate and the lowest ELO adjusted win rate of any hero with 10 or more games.
Buff Pango, that's what I'm hearing.
No. But what do you think is it about this? Is it the double javelin build? What do you think is it about this hero that he's kind of struggled in the pro games after looking? He's looked pretty good in pubs when I've seen him.
Item builds is one thing, and I think the hero has no, like, there's no way you pick the hero and you feel mediocre about it. It's either a really good Pango or it's either a really bad Pango. That's like the thing about this hero. I think so far it's looked good only on two players, Zai and Ice as Ice.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone else that played the hero feel either mediocre or just like plain bad, you know. Maybe it takes more time for players to practice the hero. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely not a fan of like the javelin build. On supports it's fine. I think as a core position in this game, I feel like he went for this javelin before the blink, and the team needed him to have the early blink because this kind of brute mother lineup, you want to run over your team at that point of time in the game, like 10-15 minutes. You want to take down towers, and he came to a fight and he didn't have blink. He had a javelin and arcane boots and like what 1.5k gold. He could have had a blink at that fight and it could have made a difference.
Agreed. So I want to stay with you, Winter, just for one more minute here. We are moments away from the start of our Game 2 draft, but I wanted to ask you quickly, Adam, joining 343, joining the team as a coach for this tournament, of course, as we've talked about all day long, had a little bit of struggles on his Naga Siren in the first series a day. How do you evaluate his Tusk performance there in Game 1?
I think the hero doesn't really matter so much what hero he's playing. Like, he's going to take some time gelling with the team. Like, obviously, when you're not familiar with the team, like as a player, not as a coach, obviously he knows the players, but playing around your players is different. So you want to give him like your comfort heroes or whatever, like Tusk, Naga Siren. Like it's gonna take him some time to gel with the team. Like he's gonna need maybe 1 day, 2 days, I don't know. The communication is different, you know, like when you're watching the team play and you playing in the team itself, it's very, very different.
I'm so disappointed in you, Winter. I just set you up to flame, and you're like, no, give the guy time.
I mean, he played bad. Yeah, obviously he played bad.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I mean, obviously he played bad.
It's very hard when you get moved from this coach role where you're kind of sitting back, watching, analyzing, then just there for the draft. And then someone's like, you're playing. You have to worry about your individual play not being bad, which kind of ends up happening partly because he's worrying about it, and then he's also worried like they put me in to help with the shot calling. I gotta look more around. So he's probably like thinking so much about the big picture of the game rather than what his individual hero.
I mean, look at all the standings throughout like the DPC, the coaches standing in Art Style when he stood in for VP Summit, and there's like Heen for Liquid, then there's like Sebastian for OG. They all like look shaky in the first few games, or even like the LGD team when they played with the coach.
And they haven't done him a favor with the hero picks either. Like when I looked at it first, a lot of Adam's traditional hero pool, you look at the Lions, the Rubiks, they do overlap a lot with Paladin, but he did not play a lot of Naga or Tusk earlier in his career.
He played some Tusk before, but I think the main distribution will be, it doesn't matter he's playing 4 or 5, you want to put DJ on the support that wants the
farm.
Yeah, that wants the farm. It doesn't matter it's 4 or 5. And Adam is just going to be playing the support that buys the wards, that's all. Yeah,
that was one of the things that we did mention it briefly that surprised me about that Game 1. Usually when DJ gets farm on his 4-position support, it feels way more impactful. Now that Lion, it didn't feel like Lion did a lot with the gold there.
It's not really a hero that takes advantage of gold the way other 4 positions do. Kind of perhaps limits damage.
And the game was
no more.
He's kind of the initiator. Like he's the only one that had good initiation with a blink. So you're blinking in. You're always putting yourself out of position in a sense as a line if you're blinking in aggressively to start a fight.
And no matter how much gold you have, you're still really squishing.
Yeah. They leave the tree this time. That's the adjustment from Fnatic. They say we're going to ban this TB, Willow, and leave Trina.
If you ask me, I would rather play against Trina than play against Dark Willow.
I don't think there's a question. I mean, granted, Vega right now, very solid case for the best Trina team in the world. Not that there are that many of them.
Let's see some profit, some more profit.
I like this too.
They really like this hero, yeah?
This is, I think, the 4th time in their last 8 drafts that they've first overall picked Lifestealer. They're
teams
power
have been
team most Lifestealer, man.
banning Lifestealer in the first phase, and once they didn't ban it, they just snatch it up right away.
Oh yeah.
We've seen the flexibility with the builds. You can go the Radiance and go the old Armlet. We saw Lifestealer picked against TB and come out on top. You know, it's really proven to be a very stable carry pick that doesn't seem to get hard countered as much as he used to.
Yeah, it's what? Fnatic are going to take the tree away.
I mean, Trian is really good against Lifestealer.
Yeah.
I give you that.
Fair enough.
Is that who's playing that? I guess.
So what? Trian, Beastmaster opening, I guess, against Lifestealer.
I feel like Trian's a hero you need to be practiced with as a team, though. You can't just like bust it out of nowhere and expect it to just win your games.
I don't know.
I guess.
I mean, I think
Jakiro.
I think when you look at the meta has become, the meta right now is so rewarding of these aggro dual lanes and these bullying supports that can fit in with a tanky offlaner in those laning configurations. I feel like Trent checks that box. And Vega, yeah, going to go right back to the Jakiro. And they do run this both in the core and the support role, so this is very much a flex pick for them. And it of course, Jakiro, lots of damage instances to chew through that living armor, both on heroes and on buildings.
Yep.
Trian and DP opening. I guess both the heroes got some synergy with each other. The root to set up for the DP ulti, then you have the
living armor on
the living armor on her.
Again, which is great if it's only the lifesteal on board, but once you got the huge Jakiro dots, I think that loses a lot of value.
Yeah, Jakiro is like kind of like a counter to the armor. But I still like the Trian Beastmaster opening more against Lifesteal. I'm not sure why they didn't go for that. But so Beastmaster is being banned now. That's like one of the better heroes against Lifestealer.
They don't want to reveal their lanes at the start. Like,
yeah, I guess so.
Prophet, it doesn't necessarily have to be the mid. It can be mid or a safe lane. So
yeah, we've seen a lot of like the teams, they value flexibility over maybe getting like a stronger hero sometimes in a certain situation.
Those are excellent second phase bans from both teams. I feel like one of the big things you see a lot of teams do is when you have a Lifestealer who is so hard on Batrider in lane, a lot of times teams will pick Batrider with it. And then of course the Nature's Prophet of Vega staple. All right, presumably DJ Rubik.
Yeah, DJ should play. I think DJ is gonna play the Rubik, and Adam is gonna play the Trian. Rubik is great against Jakiro, kind of somewhat like a direct counter. You steal the Ice Path, you don't have cast point, you have the null field against the magic damage.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
So they're probably gonna pick that position for hero, so they want to keep the Jakiro open. Like, if they want to play him as a support or they play him as a core.
Could take your 5 as well.
Oh, that's right. That you pick it your 4. So because Jakiro is the 5.
Jakiro can be. I've seen some teams run it as a 4 as well. But yeah, I get you.
You take the offlane. I think it's the same thing where the Jakiro can still play 2 roles. He can play 5 or mid. So
I love the big theme today. I think Underlord has looked so good just as a tempo controller. Right, that Fnatic is a game.
It's just a good hero.
you are a big Underlord fan, I know. Okay, so tell me what you like so much about the Underlord winner, because you are.
I can tell you, I don't like the Lina against Underlord. Underlord is really good against you build a pipe and your Atrophy Aura just ruins Lina's damage.
Yeah.
I mean, Underlord does too many things in the game though, because he reduces like so much damage that the enemy is gonna bring to the table, and you build like all the team items, you do Roshan, you push out lanes, and the ultimate is actually a really strong ability. It moves your team around from position to position, speeds up the game if you have to, slows the game down if you have to. It just does too many things in the game.
And I think you've given away, doesn't this have to be Abed, Lina, and EEDP now? I think you've given a lot of information away as Fnatic.
It's very kind of peculiar that they're last picking Universe's hero, considering they knew his matchup from the very start.
Right.
Like,
unless he's the Lina with the Trian.
I mean,
in
it
the
could be the
offlane.
death. We've seen offlane death.
Yeah,
like Navi, Reverend General on it.
If that happens, then I can still understand. But the next pick is great here against both the DP and the Lina.
Yeah.
The Carapace, the mana burn.
Yeah.
So the Jakiro, I guess, is still open.
I don't think you want to run Jakiro mid this game as much.
Probably support.
I think support makes sense.
They've made up their mind. So
no, it will be a core Jakiro one more time.
AA mid. Dendy style. That's a CIS classic. No.
Yeah, they got
right.
they managed to mislead Fnatic. Usually when you see like DPs being picked, teams will just ban the AA because AA is just such a hard counter to DP. But because there's a Jakiro,
And you got the yet more synergy with the Jakiro dots.
and the the Ice Vortex for the Firestorm and the Jakiro.
Oh, I like this Vega draft a lot.
AA with Nyx always feels good too with the Vendetta, Scout, find a pick, throw an Ice Blast, and find those kills.
What do we do now, my friends?
I don't know.
Need some
Tide?
front line and need something tanky.
I mean, I feel like I feel like you need a pipe on Fnatic.
No, they need to win their lanes. That's like the only win condition I feel they have to build on right now. Like they don't really team fight very well against what the enemy has. I feel DP can't really tank, and you don't have like an actual proper save.
What
for
hero
the DP.
does that?
I'm trying to figure out, you know.
Drow Ranger.
Drow Ranger?
Oy vey. Kappa. Okay, and that is a Universe Faceless Void. That is one of the, I believe that is the highest winning percentage player-hero combination in the history of Pro Dota with 20 or more games. Universe, a gaudy career record on his Faceless Void. Do you think it's enough here, guys?
I don't think it's a good Void game.
I think it's pretty tough.
I think it's hard to, I mean, it's nice to have some kind of spell immunity, piercing, disable the Chronosphere against like a lifesteal and all that, but Lina can dish out some damage, but they also block a lot of damage with the Underlord. I definitely prefer Vegas draft.
To me, I'm just thinking about their win condition. Their win condition is just they have to do really well in the lanes. Otherwise, they won't be able to.
Void with Treant sounds like it's not like a very pressure lane though.
Yeah.
They can,
so, all right, guys, time to put it on the line here. Who you got in game 2?
I'll stick with Vega.
All right. You gonna keep the panel curse alive, winner?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for Vega.
I think we got to make it another clean sweep. Uh-oh, guys. Will the panel curse live on here in Game 2? Fnatic fighting for their lives in the upper bracket. One more time. Here's Lyrical and Tsunami on the cast.
Really going all in on that panel curse. One more time. That's all that we get. Only one more time.
I mean, that was 3. You want to make it 5, Vega Squadron?
I mean, I kind of want to. I feel like they're very, very solid in this game. The
that
Void
sounds
pick,
like a 5-0.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Like I always think that when you're a team that tries to run the opponent's strats against them, like Vega Squadron play against Treant all the time, and I'm not sure how much the Fnatic team has been taking it. Obviously, they're very competent at playing a lot of different heroes, but it feels like to me it's very clear what it is that Vega want to do in this game, and I think that they're positioned to make it work.
Yeah, it is going to be Adam on the Treant, and so maybe this is the hidden coach factor that he's been like, I've waited for my moment. You've been putting me on this Naga and these other useless heroes, but I'm ready to use Vega Squadron's tactics against them. But yeah, Vega not only play it a lot, but as we've mentioned multiple times on multiple panels, it's a CIS signature. It's not just Vega's signature. Fly to Moon run it, and other CIS teams run it. So you know the shortcomings of this hero, and the shortcomings were that they don't even really care. They aren't that worried about Adam. They were more worried about the other heroes. So you got Nyx Assassin to deal with Abed's Lina. You've got Underlord and AA to deal with Death Prophet, and much like the panel said, this is not a great Faceless Void game. It just kind of seemed like a panic maneuver. Last pick, what do I give Universe? Oh yeah, Universe Void, that's the thing, right? Let's do that.
Totally. Well, and I think that it is, you know, an incredibly strong hero, and maybe he's going to be able to just go absolutely ham this game. But time will have to tell, as it looks like top lane, Adam able to scout out the Lifestealer. A couple pings in the area, and he's already deforesting. He's just quelling blading those trees up there.
I love this. This and doing it against Timbersaw in the offlane. I don't see enough cores do this. You just shred everything.
Yeah.
You don't need those trees.
All they are is a liability.
Exactly.
Universe going to try and zone him away from it, as he just keeps on eating through all the trees in the world. Love to see it.
There's a reason why they always give Palantimos this hero, and you guys will find out, because every single time it was banned in the previous series, SG Esports pulled up the Dota buff, pulled up the replays, and were like, okay, it's very reminiscent of Crystallize, I feel, on Na'Vi, where he just needs an inch and he will create a mile out of it.
Well, we'll have to watch and wait and see. Of course, Fnatic, they have, again, the Death Prophet. Lina's there as well, and it looks like DJ just going to try and keep these heroes away from the pull, but it's not really going to be that possible. They're so hard to stop that pull from coming through.
And they're sending Palantimos mid, so he showed himself in the top lane, did some cutting for the Jakiro's
my
bot
God.
lane.
Vega Squadron just run at Envy and another first blood. He tried to contest for the pull and it just doesn't work.
No, that's an Underlord you're going up against. Also a tri-lane. It was 3 heroes. Granted, only 1 ranged hero, so you're like, yeah, Chilling Touch probably can't be that big of a deal, but, well, perhaps a little bit too overeager about contesting that. And now Zayats heads to the mid lane.
Looking to try and find themselves an Abed and going to be able to just give him one little punch and then head on out afterwards. He took a level in Impale, so not going to be able to go for that mana burn shenanigans, but still. Impale connects, and Abed going to need to find his way to nice little time here. I mean, it could be a little bit tough against the Lifestealer, I guess. He's going to have a lot of last hitting power.
Yeah, although I don't think Zayats is planning on sticking around here for right now, for very long. He's a melee hero, and he built Boots first. If you want to stick around as a Nyx Assassin, you go something like Orb of Venom, but Boots first indicates that he wants to be going to every single lane. He knows that Palantimos, relatively self-sufficient in the mid lane, but they can get kills.
Mid lane, he gets the Fairy Fire out, and now Zayat maybe going a bit too far. Going to be punished for that and does go down. Abed able to take himself a little kill.
Don't sleep on the triple mango stat. He ran it on the Broodmother. He's running it again on Lina.
Well, they gave him a punch up there in the top lane. Meanwhile, Blizzy having a final time on his Underlord.
And top lane,
Slayer getting punched down. And that hero does a lot of damage. So Tree able to find a little assist there, giving the kill to Unity.
I guess Zayats is interested in sticking around the mid lane. I just don't really know why you would go Boots then if you're trying to contest a Lina. Because obviously Vega Squadron, they know the lanes. This is, if anything, is unexpected for Fnatic if they're going to send the Lifestealer mid as opposed to the Jakiro mid, which was the case in the previous game. But they're doing just fine. They got that kill on AA in the top lane, so Undershock's going to have to be playing a little bit more defensively. And in the mid lane, Zayats is just going to be able to mana burn.
Yeah. He was invis, hanging around, seeing if they could find an opening, but doesn't really look like that's possible. And Abed pops his mango, make sure he has a little bit of extra mana, and I'll throw another nuke there onto the Lifestealer. So mid lane feeling like it's going fairly well in spite of the harassment coming from the Nyx Assassin. Lifestealer still top of the CS charts, but it's not too terrible. Undershock going to take a punch from Adam. Trading hits a little bit more, and then we'll back out.
I'm curious what the Lina build is going to be. More often than not, we've been seeing a lot of Shadow Blades. CC&C went for a Pike, as now Abed gets open wounded, but unfortunately Zayats is only level 2 and he took mana burn. But
oh, another Impale, and they find Abed able to get the kill.
Zayats has landed every single Impale. How is this guy? This is the fifth different hero that he's played today.
Yeah.
And he's operated on every single one of them.
Looking very, very good. Having himself a hell of a tournament. Adam gonna punch Slayer a few times here, and they actually are gonna be able to get that kill on the Ancient Apparition. So a nice pickup there. And meanwhile, bottom lane, Blizzy also taking a lot of harassment here. The Spirit Siphon's out, but he should just be able to walk all this off. Again, Underlord, not really a hero that you're able to harass all that significantly.
Envy has one more Siphon and one more Crypt Swarm, so he's going for it. And Blizzy does not have a wand yet, but he's fine, and it's Raindrop O'Clock, so whatever kill potential that was maybe seeming in that bot lane has now gone downhill, as now Abed is pretty high in this mid lane, and Nyx Assassin's creeping, waiting for him to go for this Illusion Rune.
They know that it's there, and he's going to hit the Light Strike Ray, able to move over and steal that one away. The mana burn comes after the fact, and now Zayat gets his clarity popped as he tries to walk away from him.
All right, well, Adam does have the value Iron Branch, and so he knows that Treant Protector has some capabilities if you're able to find a movement, but so far, Adam's Treant Protector has not been nearly as effective as Zayat's. He's gone for guys, level 2 Leech Seed, and they were able to get that kill twice on the Ancient Apparition, but a lot of supports can do that. And Adam, again, goes back to the top lane.
All right. We'll see what he's able to accomplish there. A smoke up right now from Nyx Assassin as they're going to try and rotate towards mid lane. Top lane, they're still dealing some decent damage there. Blizzy farming in the jungle, but they are able to catch onto Undershock. And with the Orb of Venom and the right clicks, he's in a lot of trouble. They're also rotating towards mid right now, trying to take down that Lina as well. It looks like they're not going to be able to do it as they force back the Nyx Assassin mid, and looks like Undershock is going to be living there. So Lina able to force back the heroes mid lane. Vega not able to hit pay dirt with that gank.
Yeah, Undershock is going to be significantly less farmed this game than he was in that previous game. Another attempt on the top lane. Bash comes out, and Undershock goes down.
All right, they're making it work.
I'm a
winning
big
the
fan
lanes.
of this early time dilation on Universe. Breathe Fire and Liquid Fire is basically a recipe to, what, like a 28% slow? And that's fantastic.
Oh, meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Envy not really able to put too much pressure onto the tower yet, even though he's topping the CS and also the denies. One nice part about having to deal with Firestorm is that you can get a decent chunk of denies on the Underlord while he's spamming it out. So.
It is a 2k net worth advantage for Fnatic, and usually in the laning phase that's a little bit higher than you want, but it's not Fnatic's laning phase that I'm concerned about, it's their mid to late game. It's whenever Underlord wants to start playing as Adam, going to be able to not get out.
Yeah, quick little kill there. Slayer gets a little bit of revenge as Abed taking some right clicks from Palantimos. Do Laguna Blade, so just to be a little bit careful about overextending if anybody rotated in from Fnatic.
And Palantimos still yet to hit level 6.
Yeah. Top CS, though, across all the lanes. Fnatic kind of owning here.
Yeah.
This is what the panel said they needed to do to have a chance in this game.
If Vega Squadron can maintain their movements as well as they did in Game 2, I'm not very concerned, because the team fight seems pretty exceptional from Fnatic. You've got Chronosphere initiation, you've got Overgrowth to set up for a Chronosphere, and you've got Exorcism and Dragon Slaves and whatnot to pour into a Chronosphere from range. The thing is that Vega Squadron also have very tanky lineup. You've got Underlord, who's bound to be building a pipe, which Winter mentioned on the panel, and you've got Lifestealer, who's got built-in spell immunity. So your best bet of dealing damage to these heroes is Exorcism physical damage and Faceless Void physical damage.
Right. Well, in the Universe there, spots a couple heroes, realizes he can't really take any of them down with the Chronosphere or anything like that, so he's just going to farm up the lane and maybe wait for a rotation, which has happened as Envy, the Death Prophet, has rotated top, and maybe going to see if they can find something here, but everybody's hiding away. Nyx Assassin soaking up experience behind the tower.
But he's scanned out.
Yeah.
And he's not level 6 yet, so...
No, they will find him in Pale now as the Nyx Assassin tries to run away. They don't want to burn the Chronosphere here, but they might just have to, despite Carapace, the runaway. Level 4 still only, and doesn't end up hitting there with the Crypt Storm. They drop the Chronosphere on him. I mean, okay. I
respect it. I mean, if they can turn it into a tower. Right now, Fnatic, Envy still has Exorcism, but now they're moving away from the top lane, which is weird to me. If you're going to commit a Chronosphere, why not take a tower along with it? But they take down the Nyx Assassin.
Yeah.
Universe has been very trigger happy with his ultimates. In the Na'Vi series, every single time Lil's Pangolier walked into him, he was just straight dooming him without a second thought.
Oh, a little bit off the mark there, not able to take down the Courier, Adam. But meanwhile, Envy down bottom, gonna pop the Exorcism, and DJ gonna be able to find that initiation. Blizzy's in the area as well. They throw out the Pit of Malice and do have level 6 on Blizzy.
Oh, Undershock's so close to death, but he salves up, gets a bottle as well.
They gotta be careful. Would love to have a Chronosphere right now, but Fnatic, are they going in too far and too deep? Undershock not looking like he wants to stick around, and Slayer is also going to have to back out of here. Gets that extra little bit of movement speed from the Ice Vortex. The spirits are hitting him, but he is going to be able to escape. So Fnatic not able to connect on multiple kills.
Yeah, they get the Underlord, but it costs a Faceless Void rotation and it costs Exorcism. So they're staggering their ultimates, which I'm okay with, but still there's a distinct lack of objectives being claimed with these ultimates, and that worries me because you're giving Nyx Assassin a lot of room to play with once he hits level 6. If you steal these tier 1 towers away before he gets Vendetta up and running, then all of a sudden Zayats is like, I can only go through like a third of this map to be useful, but all the tier 1 towers are up. Lifestealer can get inside the Vendetta Nyx Assassin, and you've got a lot of map to play with.
Absolutely. Well, in the meantime, Palantimos just going to keep on trying to farm and get towards those items that allow him to be dangerous once they have the level 6 on that Nyx. And bottom lane, they're trying to pressure for the tower, and with the Jakiro on their team, it feels like they're in a really good position to just try and snowball, take down tier 1 towers, and force Fnatic to make a rotation to respond to it.
Yeah, but they had already TP'd down here once, and they went to go chase that Underlord, and the team that did not have the net worth advantage or did not have the Death Prophet ends up taking the first tower, which isn't to say that Jakiro isn't just as good of a pusher, but this Jakiro was getting hassled a lot in his lane, whereas Envy's Death Prophet had a free lane pretty much.
Underlord now almost will have that pipe, or rather the hood completed. Lifestealer looks to be going for the Radiance instead of early Armlet or something else along those lines.
Yeah, Nyx Assassin's a long way from a Blink Dagger as he gets rooted, but the game sense from Zayats.
Yeah, well, they're still going to look to try and take this one. Got to be careful about TP rotation since Chronosphere is up. Universe gonna bring down Zayats fairly low, and they do finally find that finish.
No Chrono this time.
Yeah.
And Abed's up here, so this time they'll be able to claim the tier 1 tower up top.
DJ, he's rotating in now. Does have a smoke and also stole Firestorm. So this is a lot of wave push, but also a chance to catch onto Slayer, who's trying to run away. Looks like top lane, they are going to be able to get that tower as Abed finishes it off, but they also get the AA kill.
Kills are being claimed, but they're not on core units. The Jakiro and the Lifestealer are continuing to farm. And Palantimos was kind of on the fence, like I said, as now Jakiro does go down to a Firestorm rotation from that
mid
stolen.
lane. They actually bring in the Death Prophet there as well, so they're going to try and get a little bit of extra damage from this Exorcism onto the tier 1 tower mid. So Fnatic looking to get whatever they can out of these abilities, and a long duration glyph means that it's not going to be as much as they would want, but it's still summon. Chronosphere just drops down immediately. They're able to take down that Nyx Assassin. And this is another tier 1 tower going their way.
And another one up top as well. So 2 towers quickly claimed, and these are the kinds of movements that Fnatic need to make. Need to start shrinking the map down. Vendetta is still not up and running. Zayats is only level 5 3/4, so once he finally does start going for invis ganks, then right now Fnatic are feeling much more comfortable now.
Yeah, and they need to get those levels on both of the supports. Slayer, level 5, very close to being able to get his level 6 online, which can allow them to take fights more effectively. But we'll see what Fnatic want to do next. In your eyes, do you start thinking about going for Roshan if they're them, with an Exorcism potentially?
The problem is Adam's a long ways away from any items like a medallion. Otherwise, if he had that up and running, I would say yes. Right now, with the items that Fnatic have, you can't take Rosh, even with an Exorcism.
Adam, they realize that he might be in the area there. I think they are going to hit the dust now.
Wow, did Adam not realize that he got dusted?
It doesn't look like it, and he's trying to TP away. He realizes that's not really going to work, and, well...
Wait, why wouldn't that work?
Well, I guess Undershock, maybe an Ice Path? Does he have it skilled?
No, he does not.
All right, well, you know, these things happen.
These things happen.
Games happen. But Fnatic, nonetheless, are going to, well, try and do something. Defend the bottom tier 2 tower, it looks like.
It's just a Jakiro.
I'm a little flabbergasted by that, to be honest.
That's what they were saying. It's the coach factor, because you're looking at the other sides of the map, because that's you gravitate to that. You're like, gotta call some shot. Oh god, I'm dusted.
Yeah.
I'll just TP out. Wait, can I do this? It's too late. I'm dead.
All right. Well, 4,000 net worth lead, regardless of that death, and Vega Squadron now do have that level 6, so the Nyx Assassin Impale is ready. With Tree in the area, though, they're going to have to burn through the living armor stacks.
And Adam's looking for something else. He has a Sentry Ward, and he has Dust, so if he suspects that Zayats is in the area, they can kill him. And a nice Sentry Ward is placed by Vega Squadron.
Oh, looking for that tree. It's a TP towards the shrine by the Rubik.
And Nyx Assassin walks to the edge of the Sentry Ward, so they know that Nyx is hanging around in the Radiant jungle, and all of Fnatic move up to the top lane, and they're going for Rosh.
Yeah, Exorcism popped. Easy peasy.
Yeah, this is going down surprisingly quickly. Mask of Madness was just completed by Universe, and Vega Squadron don't suspect a thing.
Yeah, and this is great for Fnatic right now. Gonna help accentuate that lead that they've been nursing, and also give them some nice control over the map with Lina about to finish off this Bloodstone.
Yeah, and Lina's a much more straightforward Aegis target. In the previous game, we saw them give it to Envy's Death Prophet, and you were like, well, I mean, Exorcism's spent, so I don't really want to go out now, and then Exorcism's up, but I'm kind of going in, but the rest of my team isn't here. Whereas Lena's like, whatever, I mean, I'll find kills. If you guys want a team fight with a Chronosphere, I'm ready to join.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm going to do my own thing, wait for a Bloodstone, and then maybe we can start doing some team fights.
Zayat's level 7. Does have 3 points in the Spike Carapace, so he wants to try and catch this Lina as she is going for plays around the map. And of course, you follow that up with an Ice Blast. It's a pretty easy kill on almost anybody. He's actually going to be going for the Courier Snipe, though. Saw that one moving out, and should be an easy pickup for Zayat's.
I had a Voidstone on it. That was Lena's Voidstone.
Oh, all right. So no Bloodstone for a little while.
Yeah. Which I am slightly surprised. So I was saying earlier, I'm curious what this Lena's item build is going to be. I mentioned that CCNC had gone for like a Pike and more right-click oriented items, Shadowblade and whatnot, and then ended up topping it off with the Daedalus. But Abed's actually going for a more old-school build, starting with a Bloodstone first and then progressing into a Shadowblade.
I guess one nice thing about that is that since it's not building a bunch of int items, it's not going to deal as much damage with the mana burn from the Nyx. But he's not really leveling that anyways. It's more along the lines of the Spike Carapace build.
Yeah.
Well, this is the one downside to playing the Underlord against the Rubik also, is he can constantly steal the Firestorm, and that does kind of pose some difficulty for Underlord wanting to shove out the lanes.
Yeah, thankfully Lifestealer are one of the few strength carries that doesn't really care too much about the Firestorm, so even if Rubik does steal it, it's not that great. But Palantimos, haven't really been seeing too much of him, and he's getting very, very close to the Radiance.
Yeah.
It's only 17 minutes in, and he's about 800 gold away from it. So he's progressing. Vega Squadron just need to continue holding on for a little bit longer.
They hit the scan now. Dire realizing that there's heroes in the area, and looks like they're going to give up the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane to Abed, who's pushing that out. Meanwhile, top lane, Envy, yeah, he realizes that there's also the Lifestealer up there and the Jakiro, and they're going to push out this wave. See where they decide to go next.
They already claimed the tier 1 tower, and again, it seemed like a little bit of indifference whenever you have this Aegis. Like, you are not really dictating the pace that, like, there's not that much aggressive vision plays. Whenever they were invading in that bot lane, Vega Squadron knew, they scanned it out, and they placed a sentry ward on that secret shop cliff in the bot lane. And so whatever adventurous vision you were able to get during that invasion was immediately compromised. And that's one of two things, I guess 3 things you want to do with an Aegis. Is either use it to get aggressive vision, use it to teamfight, or use it to take objectives.
Ooh, and this is a big moment right here. Zayat's going to walk forward. They have the Radiance off from the Lifestealer, so they can initiate onto Universe, looking for it right from the start. They start with the Impale, and that means he can't get away in time. Is he going to fall? Yes, he does. Adam tries to get the overgrowth to try and create that separation, and he is going to be able to walk away, but still, the kill onto Universe, pretty freaking big.
Very clean. Ice Blast needed to come out that early, otherwise they would not have been able to land it before Universe gets the time walk off. And he could have chronoed, but he would have died anyway as Jakiro came from the north side, dual breathed him, and he ended up going down.
Roche, still a minute before the Aegis expires. And, well, we'll have to see where it is now that Vega Squadron want to go, as they've been able to build a little bit of momentum for themselves off of that. Probably just next Nyx Assassin ulti.
Yeah, now that this Radiance is completed, Palantimos is ready to play. And you aren't really afraid of very many targets. I guess Chronosphere is the biggest concern because you're a melee hero inside of another melee hero whenever you're Nyx inside of Nyx. But if you know where the Void is, or you initiate on the Void and you're able to top it off with these global Ice Blasts, then the biggest concern is just taken off the menu.
Yeah. Well, Adam did see a lot of Vega Squadron grouping together there in the jungle, so they might be expecting a Nyx Assassin gank soon. And it looks like right now, Nyx, they spot us. Okay.
How do they know?
They
must play
smoked.
a lot of Tree Protector, I guess. No, he was walking around near these Dire wards in the Dire jungle, so he walked into the sentry range, they saw him stomping around, but still, that's like an amazing dust. And again, this is the mark of a team that plays a lot of Tree Protector, and the mark of a team that plays against a lot of Tree Protector.
Now Vega After a couple of kills, still 5,000 gold in the tank. Needing to come up with some more answers, as it looks like Fnatic want to group together and make a play themselves. Although they don't have the tree with them. It's the other 4 heroes.
Yeah, and
all
Aegis
together
is
mid.
Timed out now, so Lina does not have that insurance. She did get her Bloodstone after the courier respawned, and she's working her way to a BKB. So it's a kind of middle of the ground Lina approach. You've got the spam, I suppose, from your spells with the Bloodstone. Or actually, Abed's going all over the place with his quick buy. Okay, he goes for the Shadow Blade.
All right.
I'm more content with that one. The only reason you don't really want to go to the Shadow Blade is because you already have an Invis Treant on your team, and you're like, well, if they have a bunch of detection for him, then can I really get Shadow Blade initiations? But I think it's still a good right-click item.
They got to be careful here. Smoke about to wear out from Fnatic. They were right by a ward. It looks like it's not going to spot them, though. But while this is all happening, Vega Squadron pushing bottom lane, while Fnatic try and farm out the Dire jungle and secure a little bit more map control for themselves.
Vega have been consistently warding their own jungle, and it's been so effective. In game 1, they caught out that Broodmother a bunch of times in the eastern jungle. Here, they again place a very defensive ward, and before their tier 2 is even claimed in the top lane, and it's been finding so many Fnatic invasions.
Well, another Infest play as they're going to get ready, I believe, to Dark Rift up to top, and maybe think about taking this fight. There's a chance that they could go for it at least.
Yeah, then the scan comes out on the shrine, so they're waiting for it.
It's maybe a little bit scary going into that full combo since obviously Chronosphere is there, but yeah, they're going to send in the Nyx Assassin first. And with Underlord moving in as well, they could go for a Pit of Malice play here with the Firestorm already out. Stolen away by the Rubik.
Oh, he's going to walk into the Sentry Ward.
Yeah, and there's going to be the initiation that still comes out. Chronosphere onto 3. Nicely played. The Ice Blast coming as well, and they're able to hit with the Ice Path. So Universe pops his BKB trying to run. They get the lift up now onto Lina as the Lifestealer going to try and chase him down. A ton of damage coming out from that Radiance. They pop the DP ulti, but is Envy really going to be able to stay tall through all of this? They hit the Spike Carapace, the Impale to get that little bit of separation, and now just going to Dark Rift away with the rest of these heroes. But they didn't pull the Jakiro back in. He does get the blink away. Jakiro still trying to walk this one off.
One more. Yeah, he gets the deny.
Well played. But still, Exorcism used, they get the tier 2 tower, and Fnatic, again, building on that lead.
That's 2 ultimates blown, though, so let's turn it around. She's going to start healing, though.
On the Ice Blast, so they wanted to get that one, so there was no healing coming out, but still Envy just going to get eviscerated here by the Lifestealer combo together with the Underlord, and he's gone.
He was going for a pick on the Jakiro. He thought that Jakiro had retreated up into the north, and the next creep wave came, and he was like, well, you know, I've still got Exorcism, might as well farm it out. But it was a Dark Rift back to the fountain, so Vega Squadron could just quickly TP back and turn it around. And I mean, at the end of that, it's a tier 2 tower that Fnatic claims, but they lose the Rubik and they lose the Death Prophet for it, and Exorcism and Chrono are both down. So Vega Squadron are starting to converge on the mid lane and the top lane as well.
So the tier 1 tower being assaulted. They've got the Liquid Fire, and it is a lot of damage onto this tower. While Lifestealer is pushing there as well. Ice Path goes down, the blink away. Don't want to get caught. Blizzy just going to walk it off.
And now another 6-second glyph is up. So if they want to go for this tier 1 top, another 6 seconds that you got to chew through.
Just taking advantage of Chrono being down.
Exactly, and Exorcism as well. And again, Vega Squadron have proven after that game 1 that they are very aware of cooldown dependence, and they are very capable of abusing it.
Absolutely. Doing just that right now. Jakiro has, I believe, the Aeon Disc queued up again. And Underlord finishing off the Crimson Guard with the pipe. He is tanky as all get up.
Another tower, I love it.
They're just going, man.
Let's go. Chrono is up, though, and Exorcism is up in 10 seconds.
Yeah,
so maybe be a little careful.
Yeah, they need to be careful, actually. Universe is there. He's invis, has a rune for it, and looking for this Chronosphere. They're not prepared for this Vega Squadron. Could be in a ton of trouble, but they're going to get the Dark Rift off, and that actually, I think, keeps them all alive.
Yeah. It's signal you cannot Chrono, because you are not going to be able to accomplish anything. Great game sense. Don't finish off the tier 2 tower, but they forced everyone from Fnatic to come up. Lucky for Fnatic, though, they get a Roche respawn, so they can do something with all this movement, although it's going to get scouted out.
Zayat sees the courier coming in and is going to be able to get the takeaway from that, although does that mean that they know what's going on? Macro Pyre and the Ice Path down in the Roche pit. They need to be careful. Ice Blast is on top of them as well. With the Nyx Assassin in the area, actually he TPs away, so they still know about this as Abed walks into the pit. Adam outside of it as well. They hit the silence. There's going to be the jump forward, but they don't get it. The Dark Rift to pull them all out. They are going to get the overgrowth as well. Everybody trying to run out, and they get away scot-free.
That's an Underlord player right there. DJ evacuating everyone from that Roche attempt, and they successfully claim the Aegis. And Cheese ends up going to the Death Prophet, so Aegis on the Lina, Cheese on the Death Prophet. Exorcism is again down, and the story of this game has been like, which cooldowns are you most concerned about? Right now, I think that Chrono is the bigger one, and Universe has BKB up and running. He has Chrono available. We'll see how much advantage Fnatic want to take of this as a Blink.
Wondershock wants to chase, but not going to get there in time.
Close.
Nyx Assassin also has just about enough gold for a Blink Dagger as they're hunting through the trees here.
Into an Aegis and a Chronosphere. Okay, I love aggression, but there are times and places, and I don't know if this is the right time for this.
Yeah. Adam is the one that's paving the path.
Look at the respect. Fnatic are like, oh, geez.
Yeah, they know.
They're all off the map. It doesn't matter that we have Chronosphere and Aegis. We got to be careful.
It really feels like that Lifestealer is terrifying. Maybe need some more Force Staffs on Fnatic's team.
Yeah. They, I guess, were initially more concerned about the Underlord, and so that's why you see all these BKBs coming out and whatever the Jakiro is capable with these Yule setups, but now you've got to be concerned about the physical damage coming out from the Lifestealer as Adam finds the Jakiro, pops the Eon Disc.
And there's the blink away. Easily done for the Jakiro.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Clock's ticking on the Aegis, though.
Yeah. Do you feel like this is the type of game where they need to get something done with that Aegis, or are Fnatic comfortable with this game going later and later?
Only, I don't think they're comfortable because I think Faceless Void is going to be able to outcarry with his supporting staff. Universe is getting a lot done, and I think that if he's able to complete a few more items, then Universe is going to overtake Envy in terms of being like the most important core. And Abed's build just kind of has me puzzled a little bit about what his role in the game is going to be. Whenever the Chronosphere came up in the top lane, Abed wasn't in it. And he wasn't able to kill off the Lifestealer. He was trying to throw in attacks, he was trying to throw in spells, wasn't able to do anything to the Lifestealer. And it's just going to get harder.
I feel like Fnatic have done a really good job of playing around this Nyx Assassin too. Like, they're sticking together but still maintaining that gold advantage. And while this is going to be a smoke play from them now, will, I believe, not actually be broken by the Nyx Assassin. But he did see everybody over there, so they might be expecting this play regardless.
Yeah, Vega Squadron. Again, vision has been paramount for this team, both in the previous series and this series, so a Nyx Assassin not finding something is oftentimes just as valuable to know as a Nyx Assassin actually finding something.
Right. Undershock just going to drop a Macro Pyre back away from the tower, while bottom lane, the Underlord keeps the pressure on. This is a tier 3 tower that's being hit right here.
Yeah, he can rift out.
So they pop the Living Armor, and he is going to Dark Rift out of there, but takes the tower down fairly low. Obviously, it doesn't matter that much since there's a tree in the game, but well, it's not terrible.
Yeah. Initiation on the mid lane, blink up, Eon Disc popped.
Now he's in some trouble, does have the Yule Scepter and the blink out. Stolen Macro Pyre Knight able to connect in time, and now the Impale gives him a little hey, how you doing on his way out of there.
Man, if they keep doing this, I don't know if Trian's going to remember to heal the bot lane, but Palantimos isn't in the mid lane yet, so he's just farming the enemy jungle, so I don't think Vega Squadron actually want to engage in a full-on fight.
Well, the gold lead, which was 5K, has been sort of whittled. Oh, great play there. And able to catch now. The Ice Blast is going to connect. They pop the BKB from Envy. But that's a win in of itself.
Beautiful carapace. Science, what a player.
All right. Keeping Fnatic on their toes. And forcing out that BKB.
And now Palantimos working his way to a Manta style, something that's not typically seen on Lifestealers at all, but I think he really needs to be able to get out of these overgrowths. And so he rages up to enter the fight. Obviously, Adam's going to hold on to the overgrowth until absolutely necessary, and then Mantistel is going to be able to get out of that. Obviously, it's value for the silence of Eternal Envy as well, but you don't usually go Mantistel if you're just worried about a silence. You're not like a Terrorblade or something.
Right. On again, Jakiro farming out and pushing out that top lane, while the other heroes from Vega Squadron kind of sticking together. It's a tense moment right now for both teams, I would say, as Guardian Greaves going to be delivered as well for that Underlord.
God.
And Aegis expires.
So tanky.
It's really hard to deal with.
And we haven't really seen an opportunity of Vega Squadron being able to start a fight. Every single time there's a team fight, it's Fnatic leading with the Chrono and whatnot. But we saw that every once in a while you drop down a Chrono, Blizzy, even without activating the pipe or the Crimson Guard, is still doing a lot with just these auras. And now
ooh, look at this wraparound.
Aura.
They're looking for it now. Xayah is going to run into everybody. If they hit this one right now, oh, the Pit of Malice, it's on to 2. The Impale comes out as well. They're able to isolate the DP. They get her taken down. Chronosphere on to 3, though. Is this going to be enough? Ice Blast onto Universe. They're starting to burn through the Nyx Assassin, but I'm not sure if that's enough. They buy back on the Nyx, going to try and pull him back in, and the Lifestealer does get brought down as well. A minute on the sidelines. Vega Squadron, they buy back on the DP, actually, for Fnatic. And Blizzy going to be lifted. Xayah, Impale only connects onto 1. I'm not sure if that's good enough as the turnaround Impale comes out as well from the Rubik. Universe chasing, able to find this Nyx Assassin who's silenced. Does have a Spike Carapace, but not going to get it off. And Blizzy also going to fall.
So I talked about the auras, but I guess in that situation you needed to activate both the items. The Chronosphere was beautiful by Universe, and it came out before the Underlord was able to activate anything. They shredded the Death Prophet, and it was a little bit cocky to think that you can take the remainder of the fight without activating these items. But Abed was plinking away. He has an MKB completed, and once the Rage timed out on Lifestealer, popped him with a Laguna Blade.
Oh, Impale off the mark there, and Fnatic again assaulting high ground. They're going to be able to push them back as the exorcism wears off, but Fnatic feel like they might be here to stay. Is this really the play, though? They don't have Chronosphere anymore. Impale from DJ off the mark.
They really want this tier 3, though.
Yeah, they're pressuring for it so heavily, and it's not going down. It's still alive. Ice Path, it's down onto 1. They're able to hit here, and Envy again trying to run, but they can't chase this guy down. Just too freaking fast.
Ice Blast is still ticking, though. And wow, he actually TP's right there, but another BKB TP from Fnatic, Abed, and they're going to be able to evacuate. Man, there was even a living armor on that last creep to see if he could finish off the tier 3 tower, but no, it stands tall with 17 HP.
That's kind of insane.
And Vega want more.
Are they really wrapping around for this? This is going to be a lift up here under Rubik, in some trouble. Ice Path comes down. They're also Dark Rifting into this one with the other 2 heroes. This is going to be a tier 2 tower. Can they get any more?
I think you wait for Roche. You know Aegis is timed out a while ago, so it has potential to respawn in 15 seconds. If RNG is on Vega's side, it will respawn at that time. But right now you just want to control this western half of the map. Place down some wards, have Nyx Assassin linger around here so that if Fnatic do smoke up, then he'll be able to pop it. But it does look like it's going to be a very late Roche at 3 minutes to respawn.
Oh, goodness. Just about as late as it goes with that one. So Vega Squadron can still keep the pressure on for this mid tier 2. But with Fnatic having Chronosphere back up, it's maybe a little bit less safe.
Yeah.
And they're going to retreat.
It's very difficult to play this game as an Underlord because you obviously want to be knee-deep in the fight to make sure that you're drawing the most aggro from the enemy team. But the problem is that he needs to activate his items to protect the Lifestealer, and he needs to be able to like bring out this root, put down Firestorm. Even though Faceless Void has the BKB, you want to create chaos outside of the Chronosphere to make sure Abed can't just like toss attacks in uninhibited.
Now, really, it feels like they just need to not get 3-man chronoed.
Why didn't I think of that?
It's probably the thing to do.
Genius.
Well, and this Nyx Assassin has gotten a lot done, but so too has the tree. And, well, we'll see what else they can get done with these heroes as Fnatic fallen behind Vega Squadron now. 2,000 into the lead for them after taking down the top tier 2 tower.
Yeah, I'm curious where Palantimos is going to go next. He has had his Manta Style completed, and he had obviously gone for the Radiant Solar Crest before that, but MKB is completed on the Lina. MKB is on its way to being completed by Universe's Faceless Void. So a lot of that net worth is negated because those are the two enemies that are going to be killing you inside of a Chrono. And Universe has nothing better to do than Chrono the Faceless Void. If you get the Underlord, that's a bonus.
You mean Lifestealer? You said
sorry,
Chrono,
yes,
Faceless Void.
Faceless, Lifestealer, yeah.
Well, we'll see if it ends up working out for them. Both teams just sitting on their own high grounds, waiting to farm up the jungle some more.
Still got 50 seconds to Roche.
Yeah, and it feels like they don't want to make a move until that comes out. Universe, MKB done. And next Assassin walks into the pit, realizes nobody's in there, backs on out. The scan comes out. They're expecting a smoke gank, but a little bit then you realize that Abed and the rest of Fnatic just on the other side of the river.
Yeah, and they just spent their scan, and Radiant just got their scan up. No one's really been sending any units into the pit. I think they're just waiting and be like, does the other team know that Roche is up or not? And then if someone finally moves in, then they'll do something about it.
Ice Blast just used. 30 seconds before it's back up. Should be able to have it for the Roche fight that's about to commence. And
Lifesteal Illusion goes in. Let's see how long he stays here. If he stays a little bit longer, one more second. And they know Roche is up at the last second of that illusion.
I didn't see any pings, though. They might
That's
not
true.
have checked it. Oh.
DD Rune bot.
All right. How many times has this been a game changer?
Many, too many.
Oh, still Fnatic. Just sort of chilling. Not wanting to really check out inside of there. Lifestealer has the Radiance and the Solar Crest done.
Yeah, and these Radiance Illusions are burning out the bot lane. Very Naga Siren-esque, but it's working.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the pressure comes, so Envy has to deal with it in the bot lane, and Vega are trying to find out what's going on inside this pit, but the problem is they don't take it exceptionally quickly.
Right. I mean, the Solar Crest is definitely nice now.
Yeah, but Exorcism is infinitely better.
Right. Hurricane Pike for the Lina after the Bloodstone. Meanwhile, Ancient Apparition looking to rush an Aghanim Scepter has halfway completed.
Yeah, the duration against a Void is critical, and the Death Prophet as well. And a smoke up to the northern part.
They're walking uphill, though. Need to be careful. Blizzy is there to break it right at the start. They jump forward. Impale hits onto two. It's also onto Uni. Can't get out of that one. They start to take him down low. They have the Chrono if they want to use it, but it might not be enough. And Rubik looking like he might end up falling. They keep him away. Vega looking decent there at the start of this one and forces Fnatic back.
Very patient from both teams. No big ultimates compromised, and no big BKBs spent. I agree with the decision to rift out because you don't know where Void is.
Right.
If you don't know where Void is, there's no point trying to take a fight. The only reason you go for it is if you impale Void and somehow have the rest of your team quick enough to do follow-up, but I think Ice Blast was recently spent on a creep wave as well, so no point trying to go for a lost cause.
Both teams trying to push out these creep waves. The Firestorm used. Their mid lane is going to be pushing a little bit more heavily, and Fnatic tried to take the high ground themselves. Zayak is there. He's got wards in the area. They see absolutely everything that's going on. And again, just this little dance that's going on back and forth around the Roche pit. It's worth noting that during this entire duration, Vega's actually been able to build up a slight lead. They're getting more out of the map while all this is happening because of that Radiance Lifestealer.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it hasn't translated into any objectives being claimed because the Treant Protector has been healing up all the chip damage that has been going onto the tower. Is now the tier 3 tower down bot after Underlord's little siege is now back at full HP. But like you said, it still builds up a net worth advantage.
So Aether Lens done for the Nyx Assassin. We're around 800 gold away from a Nullifier on the Lifestealer. We've seen how often that item can just completely change the complexion of a game.
Well, Blink, Telekinesis.
Looking for that opening mid lane. Got it onto one, but back out from both sides.
You gotta be sweating bullets. This is the kind of tension I like to see. I don't want to see things where a net worth advantage is like, oh, it's obvious that this team has it. No, even in game one, like I said, there was like one team fight away for either team to get a victory, and if Vega pulled it out then, here it's just as likely that Fnatic pull it out, especially with all these teamfight ultimates. Universe is itching to get this chrono off. He's not level 18 yet, which I would have hoped that I would have hoped that he would have tried to farm that up during all this downtime, but the problem is like he needs to be there, and he does not have a blink dagger. So anytime that you're away is time that a Nyx Assassin may be initiating on your Death Prophet that you're not there to chrono.
On a good play right there, they deny the invisibility rune from the Faceless Void. Lifestealer picks up the Nullifier now, and it looks like maybe one of these teams ready to end the dance and go for the play towards mid.
Yeah, Void is 18. He's got a gem completed. He's working on an Aghanim Scepter, but he's still around like 3k net worth away. But Vega Squadron, it's daytime. They have a lot more vision advantage, I suppose, with an Invis Nyx Assassin. So let's find a target.
Adam is not in really a great position to try and break that smoke, it feels like, as Vega hoping that somebody is going to come back to try and push out this creep wave.
They
Nobody
can't spend
biting.
too much time, because the more time they spend away here, they don't really know. Well, actually, I guess they verified that Envy is in the mid lane. Otherwise, they could be trying to sneak Roche, but Envy is showing himself.
They smoke a second time now underneath their ward, and the wraparound is coming. Adam is going to reveal the smoke onto Slayer. He gets the Force Staff to the low ground.
Whoa.
BKB pop from Fnatic as well. They spotted that out, I think. Fnatic need to be so careful now. They don't have a BKB on their DP.
Yeah, and still they don't know where they are. All they know is that an Ancient Apparition showed himself, and bot lane's starting to push. The pressure's mounting. Envy's going to TP back because these siege creeps are hammering away on the tier 3. So is this an opening for Vega to take Roche?
It feels like it. You know, I don't actually know if they saw the BKB pop for Envy.
Well, regardless, they saw Envy pushing out the bot lane, so they know he's not there. But Adam, they don't have detection for him.
No, and the mid lane is pushing as well, so Vega have to deal with that one that's coming through, and instead it's going to be Fnatic moving into the pit themselves. Up on the high ground, they spotted Sentry's there immediately. Adam's starting to fall. He does die.
Starting.
Now,
Ending.
Opportunity here for Vega Squadron.
Train Protector's dead. He does have buyback, but does definitely not want to spend it.
Yeah.
And Palantimos has been living inside of Nyx Assassin for the past few minutes, looking for something desperately.
Ready to go at a moment's notice.
I mean, you could just let Underlord solo it, because, you know, that's a balanced thing to have a hero be able to do.
Feels like that's what they're going to try and do. And the buyback is there. The jump forward. They get the Nullifier onto DP, but the Chronosphere comes out. Universe onto 3, saving the day. Can they bring down E? I don't know if it's going to happen in time. Lifesteal is starting to fall. They almost bring him down. He is going to drop. And still a ton of damage coming out from EE. Saved at the last second. My God, Universe freaking did it. They managed to Dark Rift out with the rest of them, but still, Vega Squadron buying back now. They need to come and defend against this. And with Exorcism maybe going to start to wear off soon, the chase forward.
Like crazy to these DOTs.
Exorcism is going to wear off, so he's going to get the heal coming in, but Roche down to half HP. It might be a little bit too scary, though. They don't have Lifesteal for 50 seconds, but still, the Root's going to be there. The Impale to follow up, and now they're going to be able to take down Universe. Does have buyback if they want to use it. Lift up as well now. Onto that Lina. They get the Hurricane Pike up to the high ground, though. Abed able to dodge away from it. The gem on the ground, able to pick that one up, and now the walk away. Impale connects onto Rubik. Vega Squadron get the gem back. But what a freaking chrono from Universe.
Again, Blizzy kind of bumbles his way into it, not able to activate any of those items to protect his Lifestealer. Nyx Assassin was the first target for Faceless Void inside of that chrono, which initially seemed peculiar to me, but that's because Lina was taking care of the Lifestealer on the rim of it. Don't successfully take Roche because the Exorcism was mostly spent to win the fight, but it's down for another 60 seconds, and Palantimos is going to be up in 3 seconds.
Yeah, this is spooky. They're, again, moving into position, and now Undershot gets the Arcane Rune. The Impale comes out again. The Ice Path is beautiful. They're going to be able to blow them all up. Wow. Eternal Envy starting to drop down low as BKB comes out. He's living through it for the moment, so he can maybe go back in for another round, but Muted Universe doesn't get the range to jump away. Dead now for 80 seconds, and this is for sure Vega's Roche.
You hear that? That's a team that two supports and an offlane Underlord handily winning a team fight against 5 enemy heroes. Palantimos wasn't even there. He shows up at the 11th hour to clean up Universe. And let's keep the aggression up. They rift out, showing that, yeah, Rubik, we saw you steal the rift, but we can do it too.
Oh, and they actually have eyes on DJ here, who is going to get the blink away. That was potentially really close, but he does also have Firestorm, which is a great way to try and stall down the game.
Yeah, that'll help. But what would help more is having Universe.
Yeah.
And he does not have buyback for 6 minutes.
40 seconds on the sidelines now as Vega Squadron looking to try and take a tier 3 tower bottom lane. There's still a tier 2 in mid. Undershock gets the Hex off. They're following it up, trying to take down one. It is Rubik getting away from everybody though. As Envy does have Exorcism. It's scary to pop it because you can just back out if you're Vega Squadron now.
Yeah. Chrono will be available when Faceless Void respawns at 20 seconds.
Ice Path, the Impale to follow. They got him caught. Another Ice Blast. They're anticipating the jump away. Envy does manage to dodge away from it. BKB used as well. And, well, now trying to take down this Underlord. But he pops the cheese, turns to fight. Envy trying to run another Ice Path lands. They're force-stabbing away.
Void
The
is
secondary Impale is there, and they take him down as well. They do manage to burn through the Aegis. But Vega Squadron take the tier 3 tower and jump forward. Chronosphere, the Ice Path. BKB comes out, though, in time, and they manage to take down the Lifestealer.
Universe acting like he wants more, but that would be a bold move. Envy is dead for 80 seconds right now. Be happy that you were able to get the Lifestealer through that Aegis. 9k advantage claimed, and Vega Squadron are... I would say the biggest issue right now is Universe is going to be working his way to the Aghanim Scepter. And if Universe is able to complete that, then the landscape of this game changes, because Universe has been landing clutch chronos every single time. And Faceless Void is definitely a competent carry against a Lifestealer. If you land these time locks, if you have Abed's Lina pouring in right clicks from the side, he will look fragile, but it doesn't seem like it's about the Lifestealer anymore. It seems like it's about this Ice Blast, which Aghanim Scepter is now completed on Slayer's Ancient Apparition, and these other auxiliary cores, Undershock's Sheepstick Jakiro.
Yeah. You know, I'm thinking about it too, and the way that this game has gone, how many times have they hit Ice Blasts rather, and then it's been like the BKB just wearing out? Like, it's going to extend past that now. It's feeling like this is going to become a serious problem for Fnatic.
The beauty is Vega don't really have to commit very expensive spells to all of a sudden win a team fight. Like, what was near the Roche Pit? It was a Pit of Malice, and you were like, oh, hey, I got 2. And then Jakiro's like, dude, I'll put some Ice Path on that.
Yeah.
And then AA is like, dude, I'll put an Ice Blast on it. I'll put a Ice Vortex on it as well. And all of a sudden they win a team fight with minimal commitment. Whereas Fnatic, they need to blow a Chrono to keep anyone still.
Yeah.
I haven't seen an Overgrowth in ages.
And that Ags is definitely better now on the Faceless Void to allow them a chance to constantly win team fights with that, but
he's a whiles away from it, around 2.5k net worth.
Yeah. We do also have an Ags that's going to be coming up for the Jakiro, interestingly enough, as Envy just going to BKB and TP away. Does not want to get found. So 48 minutes in, 11,000 net worth into the favor of Vega Squadron. And where do you go from here if you're Fnatic? What's the play for them now?
Treant Protector needs to step up the game. As harsh as it is to say, Adam has not really been able to find very much information. At one point, Fnatic had a gem, and it looks like it's on Nyx Assassin. So Zayats has Fnatic's gem.
They just picked one up, a new one for the tree, so...
Okay, good. Okay, there. So that's what I was getting at. This Treant needs to basically give up his life to find amazing Chronos. It doesn't matter if he gets his ultimate off. All he needs to do is find out where the enemy team is. Pop smokes, find vendettas.
Oh, yo. Check out the Jakiro. He's got the Ags with the Macropyre Pierce's spell immunity.
What's the commercial? It's like, look at that Macropyre, dude. Or
that
looks
like that. Really, really fancy.
Yeah, it goes for miles. It lasts for an eternity. And now that Faceless Void's BKB is pretty solidly in the 5-second vicinity, I think your Macropyre might be able to beat it out.
That is a lot of damage, but meanwhile, Fnatic going to make this happen for themselves. The Macropyre is down, and well, Slayer up on the high ground. They could think about chasing forward for this fella. He is very far out of position and should just get blown up. Doesn't even get the full Ice Blast off.
Yeah, attempts it on the Death Prophet, but doesn't connect. He's down, does not have buyback.
They need to be careful here, too. Universe.
Dude, this Macropyre is hurting Universe.
They're just kind of like standing in it here.
No one respects it, because no one ever sees it in a game.
45 seconds on the AA, no buyback for him. And he is a crucial part of their fights.
He is, but Fnatic don't have vision. That's the problem. They don't really know where Vega Squadron are right now, and they don't really know where Nyx Assassin is a lot of the time, and that's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
And Nyx Assassin is going for an E-Blade, which will be great at protecting this Lifestealer if he doesn't get Rage off against all these right clicks from the Lina and the Faceless Void.
Well, DJ, he does spot out the Underlord there again, but can't really do anything against that tanky guy. So, steals Firestorm, backs out again, just tries to push out those lanes.
But what's it for? You can just plop down a Scepter Macropyre.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah, it feels like we might be playing for another round of Roche, potentially.
And then Refresher Shard Ags Macropyre.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think you give it to him, but it'd be pretty hilarious.
Instead, it's going to be Vega that smoke up. They are going to head towards the pit. Roche possible to respond shortly, I believe.
Yeah, a minute and a half. Thing is, Vega Squadron don't have exceptional vision on the Fnatic half of the map, but this is their first movement across the river in a good portion of time, ever since that smoke flank that they did a few, like maybe 10, 15 minutes ago.
Yeah. Vega pushing through top. Got Envy clearing through the creep wave, showing himself in lane. Universe hanging out behind everybody.
Yeah, the important thing is that Universe never shows himself.
Yeah.
You can clear out waves for days. Envy could have even been solo, and still Vega Squadron would not have gone on it because they just don't know where this void is.
Right. Doing a very good job of keeping himself off map. They do get a nice ward here up on the high ground that's going to spot out a lot of the movements from Fnatic. We'll see if that one gets dewarded since they do have a gem.
Right, Rubik has the gem. How confident does he feel moving down the stairs, though?
Yeah. And we'll see how long this respawn timer is as well.
They do find it.
Exorcism grants haste, picked up for the level 25 of DP. And it's an
kind
arcane
of lingering around here.
Scary stuff.
Oh,
walking forward for Eternal Envy, who picks up an Aeon Disc now as well, the lift up. It's going to be there. Pops the Blade Mail. Aeon Disc is popped as well, and now the Ice Path could follow if they wanted to chase this down. Walking through this choke point is really scary for Fnatic.
Man, Undershot can get a dream Macropyre.
Zayak, he's thinking about it. They pop the Aeon Disc, now backing out again. They lift up for the Eul Scepter from DJ. They're chasing for more. He gets the blink out though. He has haste, and they're going to be able to try and go for the Dark Rift away. They're keeping Envy under control, and they just back out. That's Exorcism down now, and a long time before Roche is up.
This is beautiful discipline. This is tier 1 discipline coming out from Vega Squadron to basically, like, know your limits is the most important thing. Is the Ice
Oh
Blast.
my god. Oh.
Envy. This time. He would have BKB'd probably, but yeah. Exorcism's got time.
Wait a minute, though. They're looking for this. Lift up the Chrono. It's on to 2 of them. Beautifully played. Can they get out with the rest of these heroes, though? They dropped the Ice Path. There's going to be Lifestealer outside of this one, though, and now trying to run down Envy, trying to run down any of these heroes. Can they get them in time? Muted, slowed, but not dead as of yet. And the Ice Path comes out a second time now. They are going to be able to find him. Universe jumps away yet again, but Envy a little bit less lucky as they run him down. Right clicks coming through. The BKB is keeping him alive, and the Ice Blast going to go out. It does not quite connect, but they do get the debuff onto Abed. They force back Fnatic, and now going to try and take a tier 2 tower.
God, what a silence. If Death Prophet was not able to get that silence off on like 4 heroes attacking her, she would have gone down for sure, but the retreat from both of these teams is just so fast that there's not enough catch. There's great escape on both teams, but just not enough to keep people still. And unfortunately, Jakiro had gone for the Macropyre's pure damage and pierces spell immunity talent, which if you go for the Aghanim Scepter, it makes sense, but the alternative is plus 1.25 seconds on Ice Path, and that would have probably been able to get the kill on the Void, but you made your bed, you can sleep in it.
Oh, Fnatic, again, sitting mid, 38 seconds until Exorcism is back online. Roche, he's alive again. I believe both teams should know about this.
Yeah, Dire knows for sure. They've got a Lifestealer illusion lingering inside the pit. And they see DJ blinking, so they know that DJ knows.
54 minutes, 20-17.
A vintage Envy game. Wouldn't have wanted it any other way at, what is it, like 11 p.m. over here? It's 11:30 p.m., Lyrical.
Oh, wonderful.
You have a good day?
It's been great.
It has been great, hasn't
Always
it?
good Dota.
Always good Dota.
They almost have the Ags actually done on the Faceless Void too. That one is flying out to him right now.
Oh, wow. I'm actually surprised that that hadn't been completed earlier, but he has it, yeah. Solid 60-second cooldown on Chronosphere.
Vega Squadron, they've got this Nyx Assassin, Lifestealer inside of him, but
Can't
don't
go
have
into
eyes on
Roche
Fnatic.
unless if you know where Faceless Void is.
So 55 minutes in, they might try and push out another lane here, possibly.
Oh, Treant's illusion is punching a courier, but it gets out.
Mystic Staff there. Moving in towards mid lane, DP leading the charge. They're thinking about it. EE is there. The Impale comes out. The Hex as well. The Ice Path, the Aeon Disc. It's doing something, but is it enough? BKB comes out. Chronosphere. He thinks about it. He turns, able to drop it now onto this Underlord, but he's so freaking tanky. I don't know if they're going to be able to bring him down. Still living through for the moment, but they're trying to take down that Lifesteal, and they will get the kill. He can buy back, though, if he wants to. The Dark Rift pulls it back out. They actually cancel the Dark Rift, though. They want to try and take this fight instead. Eternal Envy down low. Hex, but he's a fast little piggy. The Ice Path connects right on the edge. And now Vega able to stick around and maybe secure themselves a Roshan, as Adam wanted to go for that gem, but instead, well, right clicks come in from Undershock. He actually gets invis and gets out. All right, Vega,
now.
they get two more, and now the follow-up Ice Blast is going to come through. It's going to be pretty big. They get it onto Envy. Can they bring these heroes down? Blade Mail is out as well, and that might be enough as they run down this EE Prophet. They find the kill, dead again. They force out two more buybacks as Adam is going to be chased and eventually killed off. Double there for the Jakiro. And Universe, he has Chronosphere back up in 6 seconds. Can they do anything with this?
So the problem that Universe is having is that he really wants to hit level 25 to get that extra thick Chronosphere, but then that involves showing himself somewhere. So he's in this difficult spot where he's able to initiate in fights, but it's not enough with this size Chronosphere, especially against this Jakiro Macropyre. Jakiro set it across the Ancients, and it was basically a big border saying, like, you're not allowed to go down the stairs if you're Lina.
Uni has the Chrono, but they jump out. They were waiting for him. The Hex is there, the Mute is there, the Control is there, and Uni, he's not there anymore. 84 seconds on the sideline as they are going to turn their sights towards Roche yet again. No Exorcism. They buy back on two more heroes.
Oh, the top shrine is dead, so Universe has to make his way all the way from the tier 3. And
but Roche is already gone.
It's
and Envy, now he's in no man's land as well. He's going to get ran down. Ice Path, he gets force staff to the other side of it.
Just get out. Void's coming back. There's no reason.
Lift up there, onto the Dark, the Underlord rather, as he's just going to try and run out of there. Aeon Disc, keeping him alive for the moment. Ice Path from pretty far away. Still just walking, and they're going to even drop the Chronosphere. This guy's hard to kill off. As Undershock throws out another round of it. Ice Blast goes out as well. Connects onto two. It's a lot of damage. Now the Overgrowth. Have they gone too far? BKB out from Undershock, trying to run away from this one. There's a Yule Scepter for him as well, as the Aeon Disc
creeps.
there controlling this guy, trying to take him down. But he does get back to his team.
Void ended up having to pop the BKB to make sure the Ice Blast doesn't kill him, and he still almost dies. That would have been a dieback for Universe, but he ends up getting it successfully.
The Creep Wave took the range barracks while that was happening in top lane, so Shrine access is available now for Fnatic.
Yeah, but I think the majority of Shrine combat has already been engaged, with Vega Squadron being able to take out that top Shrine. If Universe was able to TP to a top Shrine, it would have been a much different Roche fight. But only having to give up the Underlord for a Aegis on the Lifestealer, a Refresher Shard on the Ancient Apparition,
Yeah.
and I guess the cheese was already eaten by someone in the fight. So yeah, the shard is on AA, and the orb of refreshment is on Jakiro. So you've got dual Macropyres that pierce spell immunity that are pure damage, that last for 30 seconds each.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. This is going to be a scary, scary fight for Fnatic. And somehow, some way with these teams, just end up with the hour-long games.
No, it's not these
Fnatic.
teams. Don't rope Vega Squadron into this.
Just happens.
They're just boys trying to play the dotes, all right? And then they get brought into Envy's world. Yeah, DJ gets it.
Well, the 1 hour mark being eclipsed as an Ice Blast is going to fly out there. Connects onto a couple. But again, it's kind of hard to take this fight when they don't have absolutely everybody with them.
Man, Universe needs 25 so bad. He's level 23 right now. He's just not allowed to show himself.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's been... I mean, there's another tome in stock in 1 more minute. Let's see what happens.
Jakiro ready to drop down the macro pyre there. Teemos gonna pick up that illusion rune, send them out around the map to make sure that those are constantly pushed in, those lanes, while Vega make the movement in towards mid lane and bottom. You got Underlord spamming out one wave mid with the Firestorm and the illusion, and now they're walking up towards high ground.
Just plop a macro pyre down at 30 seconds.
Oh, this is a nice vision right here that they get with the ward as well. So Vega Squadron, seeing who's up here, they need to be so careful on Fnatic. A Blink Hex onto Universe. Is he within range of vision? They're just outside of it. He can go in for this if he wants to. Underlord's still there up front and center with his Blade Mail out, trying to walk away from this one. And they could go for the turnaround. A good BKB from Envy. They're going to go for this one. Dark Rift, though, and the walk away. The Chronosphere is going to be there. Do they have enough to burn through these guys? No. But Rubik did steal Dark Rift.
God, that could have been disastrous. Nyx Assassin would have gone down, which meant that Faceless Void would have popped out, had no one, but Razor's Edge. No commitment of the Refresher Shard on Ancient Apparition or the Orb on Undershock, but Exorcism has been blown, and since it was a Dark Rift back to the Fountain, immediately Vega Squadron are reconverging on that bot lane.
And this is the strength of the lineup. You can just do this over and over and over again. Yeah. Underlord is the last one to the party, though, as he's a little bit slower on the way. So Vega don't want to push this too fast before the entire team gets there.
Yeah, that's actually a shame.
They did manage to get the D ward also on the one on the high ground. So Vega playing with less vision than they had before.
Chrono in 8 seconds.
They got to be so careful walking up here. The tree keeping things alive as well. Light Strike Array comes out. Vega still scared of walking up high ground, and there's the lift onto Jakiro, pull him back in. The jump to try and turn it, they're able to get it. Chronosphere isn't going to be there. On to 3 yet again. They make it happen every single time, but Universe dying in the macro pyre, and he needs to run away from this one. The second one, look at the damage coming out. Nobody can stand in that. They take down the Void 100 seconds on the sideline, and Vega Squadron might have finally done it.
Rax number 2. These guys don't want to linger here. Faceless Void cannot buy it back. They know that for a fact for 3 minutes. Death Prophet will have Exorcism in 40 seconds, which is an eternity.
Then they're making sure, dotting their I's, crossing their T's, taking down Rax as they want to secure themselves a game number 2 victory and move on into the playoffs, guaranteeing themselves their first DPC points. The Hex is there, onto the DP, Aeon comes out, but guess what? The Ice Blast gonna be there as well. Muted, taken down, killed off. My goodness gracious me, oh my. Vega Squadron 2-0, Fnatic here, unless some miracle happens.
No. No Team Liquid player can save you from this.
Lift up there, DJ again in some trouble. The Impale comes out as well. They found themselves Alina. That is a dead Abed. GG is called, and Vega Squadron gonna be moving on to the playoffs.
There's a small contingent crowd left here at midnight, but I think they are speaking what everyone in CIS is thinking right now. Vega Squadron come out, I would argue, dominant. I mean, the game ended 26K net worth, but that's just the envy factor. But it's a 2-0. It was a solid 2-0 over Fnatic. It was draft victories, both matches, strategy victories, both matches, and the individual skill from every single player on Vega Squadron. We kept harping on Zayats primarily, but everyone on Vega Squadron has been playing exceptionally. And I'm sure Kips is there with a tear rolling down her eye at the fact that her boys were able to pull out such a solid victory.
Totally. And you know, this is the other thing to keep your mind on. Like, the panel talking about having the players that's like an MVP for the tournament so far on this team, they are qualified for 2 more DPC events after this, one of which is the MDL Major that only has arguably right now 2 top teams that are involved in it. If they somehow could come away with a win here, come away with good results at that major, there's a possibility they're in the top 8 going forward. It's a long shot, but it's not outside of the realm of possibility. Kind of crazy things going on here, and again, for Fnatic, you got to start to wonder, where do you go from here as well? It's a little bit of a tough one. Obviously, still played very well in our first series of the day, and they are not out of the tournament by any stretch of the imagination. But we are going to go to an interview now, as we do have a Vega Squadron player up on the stage. More to come in a little bit here from Starladder.
Seems like everyone could get brooded, but not Vega Squadron. Congratulations with your second victory today. It was a hard day, I guess. How do you feel right now?
I'm feeling super good. Yeah, I'm just feeling crazy.
Well, you are more tired or happy now?
I know it's hard to understand my emotions now. I think more happy, anyway.
It's great. This brute in the first game, has it surprised you, or you were kind of ready to this pick?
We was ready. We discussed it on draft about of last ban, but we discussed about of our Jakiro. It's fine versus brute, and it was fine for us. We were confident with our Jakiro.
It seems like you really love Jakiro. You really love this hero and use it really often. Who was the author of this idea, like Code Jakiro? Not everyone playing it now.
We discussed it 2-3 months ago, but we didn't realize it. But now it's your idea from Undershock and Soma. They talking about we can. It's flex, but now. Yeah, it's flexible for post 5 and post 2.
Also, one more question about the first game. You picked SD on the last pick, if I remember correctly. Why? What was the reason behind this choice?
He got buffed from ult, Demonic Purge, and it's good working versus Death Prophet because she can't ult, so. We discussed it and we just tried it.
Yeah, it was a good choice. And my last question is about your opponents, Fnatic. How do you think, who is the MVP from Fnatic for this series?
Oh, I don't know. It's hard to think. Maybe winners. I don't know, he did really well in first game and second game. I think winners.
Thank you for the interview. Now it's time to rest and prepare for another games. And we are going back to our panel with the final word.
63 minutes, back and forth, multiple pivotal team fights. Just another game of Dota here at our second day, wrapping it up from the StarLadder ImbaTV Season 5 LAN Finals. And it is Vega Squadron, the last-minute replacement team that send the CIS fans that stuck around here home happy, 2-0 over Fnatic. They earn a spot in Sunday's semifinals and their first DPC points of the season. One more time, let's go to our panel here, wrap it up for the day. We did get a 2-0, still two pretty long games, but I think you saw on stage the 19-year-old support player, Zayats, player of the tournament so far for me, guys. Agreed?
Absolutely, and good on for doing that interview in English, not his native language,
yeah.
And getting through it. It's great to see him give it his all in the playing field and the interview, and Vega, absolutely fantastic stuff from them today.
They just look so prepared coming into these games. I think Tsunami really nailed it when he talked about the improvements lately in their late game decision making and the preparation coming in today, playing as the last minute replacement without the coach. Winner, what'd you see there from Fnatic though? Yeah,
he's not impressed.
That says it all. That says it all.
Tough to say though. Like when we were talking about predictions, I kind of felt like they had a win condition. As long as they do well in the lanes, which happened, they did quite well. They didn't win by a huge margin in the lanes, but they did okay across all three lanes. Three cores were farming really well. Universe had a few really good chronos at the start of the game, but the enemy sort of like had a much more balanced lineup. I felt they weren't so reliant on cooldowns, whereas the Radiant side, the Fnatic team, they were playing a lot on the DP Ultimate, the Chronosphere. And he didn't really go for like the early Aghanims. He was trying to like be a damage hero. He built like carry items. He built like the Master Manner, Shadow Blade. He was trying to do damage. During DAC, I saw Sumail do like he did like the Helm into Aghanim's builds, which allowed Void to fight more frequently, but it does limit your amount of damage that you're doing.
Yeah, Sumail also, if I remember, won a solo lane against an Underlord as a Void. I'm not sure how that happens.
I think he felt like he was having a good time with his lane, and maybe some of the other lanes were getting pressured more. Like the Death Prophet was doing pretty well against Underlord, but it wasn't like a dominating lane, so maybe he just felt like he has to be the physical damage that game. He's got a Lina, he's got a Death Prophet, but he wants to be more of the carry.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that they're playing against the Underlord means that the Lina is not going to be doing so much damage with the Aura, Crimson Guard. There's just so many things to deal with.
Yeah. That Underlord was the pick that wins in that game to me. Like, it's not maybe the super obvious use of like any spells or anything, but the damage mitigation from the Aura, every single fight,
he had game-winning Dark Race.
And yeah, he actually did have Dark Race.
Although DJ had a couple of nifty ones too, but yeah. I agree. The Underlord really made its presence felt. Yet another game where, oddly enough, Fnatic lose late to a Lifestealer. We were talking during that game that we felt like Fnatic should have the better scaling lineup, especially with the Void and the 2 ranged damage dealers into the Chronosphere. Never really felt, though, like Vega were panicked at all.
I mean, DP got counted, or that's an AA.
Yeah, fair enough.
AA, the Nyx was setting up a lot of good kills as well, so it felt like that Vega were getting the better kind of single target initiations, and Void, he's got this big team fight spell, but he can't initiate a fight. He's waiting for Vega to show themselves and group up so he can get a counter initiation 2-3 corners. Sometimes he gets it, but the hero's already died on his team, so it wasn't like a reliable way to start a fight and make sure you come out on top.
And we might be underestimating this core Jakiro, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like somewhere Paul will be watching this game and like, oh,
gosh, yes.
Core Jakiro.
Most farmed here in the game, Macropire with the Ag Scepter, level 25 talent, like he must have done a lot of damage this game, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I tell you, and it was even mentioned in the post-game interview that when you talk about the value that Jakiro picked, it's the flex value that you concentrate on. But he farmed and did it. He did the most damage in the game.
I mean, just look at that fight. They dropped the Chrono. They couldn't kill anyone because no one was doing damage.
Well, the Death Prophet is also... this was a problem in a couple of in the last fight of the game as well, where if one of those 2 DPSers aren't present when the Chrono goes off, all of a sudden Fnatic's combo just feels ineffective, with all the damage mitigation that you guys mentioned from the Underlord coming in.
Well, I mean, for Fnatic, I think this is a bit disappointing result. I feel like they never really had the necessary vision to find pickoffs. I feel like Adam had a pretty lackluster game. His impact wasn't really felt. He's playing the train, he's playing the scouting hero that needs to get up wards, and I think more importantly, scout heroes out, pop smokes, and then just be really annoying as a treant. Like, you compare what his treant did to
Zayat's,
to Zayat's earlier today, and it's massive night and day kind of difference. So
well, and what he was able to do in this game in the Nyx Assassin as well. There were multiple sequences in the late game where Palantino spent like a minute or 2 minutes straight infested into Zayat's, and he paid that off.
It's hard as a treant once they get all these Mantas and BKBs and Greaves and they can get out of your route, but that's where it's like, well, my ulti's not going to maybe do as much in a fight if they're buying all these items to counter me, but I can still be that scouting like Bounty, Ricky type hero that ensures my team get a good initiation. Yeah,
also need to be said that it's hard to tell. There's a fine line sometimes between good fortune and good game sense. There were actually a couple of engagements too that come to mind where Vega dodged a sentry ward. They had 2 paths to take. There was one in the Dire jungle that I specifically remember that the upper path would have taken them right past a Radiant sentry, and they happened to walk low and find Universe farming in the jungle.
Yeah, definitely a game where just those small vision things make a big difference. Who has a gem, because there's the Nyx who's trying to start a fight on Vega's side, and there's the Treant who's not necessarily initiating, but trying to get the scouting info for his team to pick fights in their favor.
Yeah, yet again, though, I really... My favorite change in the last couple of years of Dota is the Refresher Shard. Makes the Roshans feel so impactful well into the late game again.
Next year, we're going to see the 4th Rosh new item, whatever that's going to be. Man. Like that's a post-TI change.
Come on, guys. Rapier comes from Roshan.
Oh, please no. Please no. And this is kind of what we were talking about here is the Ice Blast is going to finish off the Lina, and when she's not there to dump damage into the Chronosphere.
Lina has to be there for the Chrono. Like, you need every bit of damage you can get because of the Crimson, Underlord doing all he can.
Wow. I tell you what, after yesterday, you know, a lot of people, of course, yesterday are going to have been disappointed in VGJ Thunder, but I think yesterday went more or less to form. And then coming in today and seeing Vega do this, this is shocking to me.
Yeah, I think some people had Vega tagged as maybe a wildcard team of this tournament, even though they didn't qualify. They were a replacement. They've just been doing well online recently, so they do look like a team on the up and up. But this is, I think, far exceeding those expectations.
Can't complain about good Dota. This
No,
is
absolutely
by
not.
far, like probably the best Dota we had so far.
Yeah, I feel like yesterday some of the games were like VGJ underperformed. Even Optic, they come out on top of their group, but they had some sloppy games themselves. I feel like Vega played great in all of their games. Even the game they lost against SG, they still played pretty well as a team.
Yeah, I thought they looked like they were shaking off some rust a little bit early against SG, but by the end of that series, similar to Optic yesterday, by the end of the series they found the form and they just rode that momentum into the second series of the day.
34k damage. How does DJ do 25k damage on Rubik? That guy.
Because DJ is amazing.
No, that's because you're playing Rubik against Underlord. I tell you that.
Oh, just stealing his firestorm.
And you're battlefield.
Undershock leading the board in both overall damage and siege damage on the core Jakiro. Yeah, you gotta. I guess we gotta start talking about that as a viable core pick, and not surprising there with the MVP.
I am still not convinced. I tell you that.
All right, fair enough.
He was good. I'm not convinced either, but I think it's at least situational. I mean, they've shown it works, so like,
I don't think they don't think it's situational. They think it's just like a straight up good pick.
Yeah.
Well, like they said in the interview, they like the flexibility where you can just pick it. And if it's a 5, it's a 5. You're happy with it played in that role. But if you decide it works as a core, or you decide there's a game-winning 5 like the AA, which turned out to be a very influential hero this game, you can play it as that core and have a great showing as we saw Undershock do. I think that, for me, I think maybe Underlord would have edged him out as far as MVP goes. As far as what the hero did that game.
Yeah,
I think they win the late game solely because of the damage mitigation.
I think it's always a fine line when you talk about was it really the superior level of play, or was it just the hero himself that was really good in that situation? It's really hard to tell.
It's that great passive usage, Alan.
So we are
he
going
to passive.
We've been here for a long time today. Let's wrap it up today as we go back through the results. As Vega are your surprise semifinalists, they will be top 4 at this event. Whereas tomorrow, I believe we will see SG and Na'Vi, the hometown team, will get another try in the lower bracket against the South American squad. Fnatic waiting in the wings for the winner. Tomorrow, you're going to see Fly to Moon, the Russian qualifier, the CIS qualifier team, starting it off against Team Kingwin in our first match of the day. SG and Esports, as mentioned, will be second, and we will have a full 4 best of 3s for you as VGJ Thunder wait in the wings for the winner of the first series, and Fnatic once again will deliver our nightcap, trying to earn that spot in the semifinals. Guys, it has been a long day of Dota. 8 games sitting right at that 50-minute average. Thanks, guys, for sticking in there with me. Appreciate it. And thank all of you for watching. We will see you right back here bright and early tomorrow for another day of Dota here at Star Ladder ImbaTV Season 5. See you then.